Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. Apologies, I'm a little bit late. Yeah, international break. Boring time of the season, as always. Not an awful lot going on, but there is still plenty to discuss. I'm going to be diving into the Raheem Sterling situation, the treatment of him in general. Are Chelsea fans, toxic in general? Is the treatment fair? Why is there so much support for Sterling? But then when the likes of Cucurella, Mudryk, etc., Lukaku had been, booed in the past, there was no PR, supporting or praising. There's a lot of PR for Sterling at the moment. We're going to be diving into all that. We're going to be diving into the future of Amari Hutchinson as well, with just a year left on his contract in the summer, or just over a year left. So yeah, a year left in the summer. Could only sign a 3-year deal because he was under 18 at the time of signing. Didn't realise that was wrong. We're going to be discussing his future. Obviously, Soccer Aid's going to be at Stamford Bridge this June. And yeah, Eden Hazard is returning. Frank Lampard's going to be one of the managers. Mauricio Pochettino going to be the other manager. We'll dive into that. We'll also dive into a potential headache that Chelsea could face with the Olympics, because obviously the high number of youngsters that could be called up because it's an under-23s tournament. So yeah, we're going to be discussing potential headache there. But yeah, loads to get into, guys. As always, fire questions in international break. Little bit different. Big up to everyone that's locked in already. Make sure you are smashing that like button, subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. As always, guys, remember, 50 likes is the minimum target. So let's run those likes up as quickly as possible. And subscribe if you are new round here as well. I say hello to a few people in the chat, and then we're going to dive into it. Sterling can be sold. Yeah, I do agree with that. Who would I bring in as an upgrade? I don't really know, to be honest. Look, if Sterling went and Nico Williams came in, for example, great. Or if Michael Elise we were able to get Michael Elise, either one of those two, I'd be happy with. No, but it's not about not doing well. I think Chelsea fans in general are just so toxic and are so quick to turn on players. Look, yeah, we're not doing well, but, too many supporters don't know how to support the team. And that is a big problem. No, but it's creating a toxic environment. It's in creating a toxic environment, which is not conducive to performing well. Sure, before June 1st. What else we got? No, I wanted Jesus instead. That being said, I supported him the first season, but not after that. Yeah, no, I agree. He's a Chelsea player, and ultimately, I want all Chelsea players to do well, because the better the players do, the better the team is likely to do. So I want him to do well. Look, I'm not a huge fan of him. Would I prefer we sign someone else? Absolutely. But as with every player, I will always support a player wearing the shirt. But yeah, I don't think he's good. I think he's been awful, and he shouldn't be in the team right now. Yes, big up. Yes, Connor, I hope you're doing well, brother. Are you going to Soccer Aid this year? I haven't got a ticket yet, but yeah, I imagine so. Why not? But look, let's dive into this Sterling situation, because it has been, obviously, it's been a couple of days now since the game. Yeah, it has brought up, a number of conversations. It didn't take long for the sort of the PR articles to start coming out in his defence. Maybe fair enough. But Matt Law is saying that a Chelsea player representative has been surprised at just how quickly some of the fans he has sat and stood among can turn on their own, and he is adamant that a number of players inside the Chelsea squad are very much aware of it. The players know, he said. They hear it and pick up on it. They might say they can ignore it or block it out, but it has an impact. And do you know what? I think it does. I think it does. I think it does, have. Look, people have got a right to express how they feel, but is it conducive and is it helpful? No, it's not. Is my view on it. If you want to boo someone, you've paid your money to go in. That's your right to do what you want to do. But ultimately, for me, I just don't think it's helpful. It's counterproductive. Me personally, again, this season's a bit harsh. I'd certainly be having him out of the side for the next few games. Look, sure, bench here and there, but he shouldn't be starting. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely protest. I get it to a degree. Is a protest against a player's performance, sure. But it's very much, in my opinion, it's very much. No, I absolutely agree. It is a protest against how they're doing. But my point is that it's not helpful, and it creates a toxic environment to which is not conducive to performing well in. No, yes, look, I was very much, up in arms with Sterling, terrible language, you effing this, you effing that, oh, what are you doing? Yeah, like it's hard to control your emotions in the moment in the stadium. And he's been a massive letdown. I just don't think it's helpful to boo players and then when you want them to actually do something for you. So look, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. Since Sterling came to Chelsea, we've been stuck in mid-table, and he's done nothing to change that. I mean, look, it's not. He's not the sole reason we've been stuck in mid-table. Yeah, the performance has not been good enough. We expect a lot more from a player of his quality. Then yeah, it's not ideal. He should be doing a lot better. There's no denying it. He's the highest paid player at the club. He's a senior attacker. He's very much been there and done it all in football, other than winning the Champions League. And you expect better from him. He's a volume player. At the end of the day, his finishing's poor, and he's going to miss a lot of chances. But like you could see at Man City, a side that created such a high volume of chances that he would stick one or two away because he'd get like 10 or 11 chances in a game because of how many chances they created. At Chelsea, yeah, our attacking output's improved and we do create more chances. We don't create an awful lot of chances. So when you're missing 2 or 3 chances, it's the difference between winning and losing a game. Whereas at City, that didn't matter. And he was obviously in a much better team, so he looked better. Yeah, he's probably playing the worst football of his career right now. And yeah, look, he does need supporting. Of course, it's good to see that there's a togetherness within the squad that, his teammates have come out and backed him. That's good to see. But I would say that it's not helpful. But then the fact that he's getting articles coming out defending him when other players have received boos in the past, your Cucurella's, Mudryk to a smaller extent, Lukaku. Like where's the articles defending them? Is it because he's English? Is it because Sterling's English and he's served England well in the past and people are trying to save face, preserve relationships with a player? I don't really know, but it's one of them for me that it doesn't sit right with me. Like I didn't applaud. Oh yeah, no, that for sure. Like I wasn't annoyed that I was a bit annoyed he missed the penalty, but it's the worst thing, absolutely spot on, is that he took the penalty off Palmer, who hasn't missed any, and then he went and missed it himself. That was the thing that got everyone on his back in that game. Yeah, the free kick was horrendous. Yes, the miss was awful. Yes, he got in the way of Mudryk's shot that looked like it was going goal bound. But the thing that set all that off was taking the penalty and then missing it. If you're going to take it off Palmer, you need to make sure you score it, because if you take it, which is going to already annoy fans, and then you miss it, that's going to further annoy the fans. So, like, for me, it's not the miss. It's the fact that he took it off someone that took it, and he shouldn't have been taking it in the first place. So that's really, for me, what's, got the fans riled up massively. Yes, big up, big up. Need to keep Palmer and Caicedo at all costs. I don't think they're going anywhere. Well, certainly not anytime soon. It's just an interesting one, isn't it? I just think it's funny how there's different reactions to different players. And obviously, Pochettino's come out and defended Sterling, as you would expect. As you would expect. And look, I get it. It's never helpful for a struggling player, but the fact that we're getting articles coming out in defense of Raheem Sterling, but that never happened with Cucurella, that never happened with Lukaku, that never happened with Mudryk or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting how it seems to be different treatment for different players. I absolutely agree that it is not helpful to boo a struggling player. That's not going to make them feel better. That's not going to make them perform better. And look, I get it to a degree. They need to be backed. They absolutely do. Like, players need backing. It's not going to help their confidence or help them improve if they're in a difficult spell by booing them or whatever. But at the same time, the man like Pochettino needs to do Sterling a favour and take him out the firing line. Take this guy out the firing line for a few weeks. That's the thing. He's managed Mudryk where he took him out for a few weeks or whatever. Why can't you do the same with Sterling? Take him out for a few weeks, let him regroup, get some training in, allow others to play, and then reintegrate him. Don't just keep playing him when he's struggling. It's not helping. Absolutely agree. It kickstarted the events that followed. Did his job winning the penalty. Should have left it to Palmer. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly it. Like, it's set the events up. That event in isolation is not all right. I'm fuming with it, and I think it basically highlights the complete lack of leadership on and off the pitch that was allowed to happen in the first place. But if he scored that, then the reaction isn't anywhere near as bad. And as you rightly say, it kickstarted all the events that followed on from that. I think people are booing him because he's selfish and isn't acting like an experienced player. Even if Cucurella, for example, has been booed. No, look, I agree that Sterling's attitude I don't think is great. I think his work rate for the team is really poor. Doesn't track back. I don't think he's that effective. But then he'll play terribly. But then he'll pop up with just like a random goal or assist, and then it makes people think that he's played well. And I think Poch leaves him in because he knows that even if he fucks up 9 things, the 10th thing he'll do something right. And Poch seems to think that's worth having in the team. It absolutely isn't. The people who boo don't think about their action. It's just venting anger. Yeah, no, it absolutely is venting anger. And do you know what? I've found myself in situations in the ground doing that because it is very difficult to get you to control your emotions in that moment when you're angry and frustrated with a player. It is very difficult. How should 19, 20-year-old feel about it? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, look, Sterling, I think, has got thicker skin. Probably, he's older, more experienced. When you start booing young, I'm not saying that young players have been booed, but if that were to be a thing, I wouldn't rule out Chelsea fan base doing that. That's going to have far more problems than booing a more experienced player. Yes, big up to the dearest Daryl. Thank you for the donation as always, bro. Greatly appreciated. Gusto Finichos is one of the best right backs in the world at the moment. What do you think is? I absolutely agree. He's one of the best right backs in the world. The fact that we signed him for 26 million, I'd say he's easily doubled his price for me. He's doubled his price for sure. I think he's probably worth 50, 60 million right now. Probably more like 50, 55, but I think he's probably doubled his price in my opinion. Chelsea needs to stick with one penalty in the team. Yeah, absolutely. Every single Chelsea fan starts. I think mid-table club right now, but I think we can still finish 7th. Agreed. Sterling is definitely a bit jealous of how well Palmer has done, coming from the same club as Sterling did. Hence, yeah. Look, I think again another reason why Chelsea fans are annoyed at Sterling is his selfishness. Is he doesn't square the ball when his teammates are in a much better position. Misses so many one-on-ones. Selfish decision making, poor decision making. These are all things that will go against you in the fans' eyes as a player, and that's not what you want. It absolutely is not what you want. Chelsea needs. Yeah, look again. The fact that the club doesn't have a designated penalty taker is a major issue in itself. How do they not have a designated taker? Again, it just shows the lack of leadership on the pitch and the lack of leadership off the pitch. Well, as Gallagher as captain, what are you doing? Why are you not stepping in and stopping that situation? Why are no other players stepping up and stopping that situation? Why is the manager not stopping that situation? I get it. Sterling's a senior player, and Palmer, despite how well he's playing and how good he's been for us, and he's our best player, maybe it's hard for him to pull rank over Sterling and say, look, I'm taking this. Maybe he needed some help from some other players, which he didn't get. No help from the captain. It just again demonstrates complete lack of leadership both on and off the pitch. Bro, so Savage one would have been on 12. Yeah, for sure. To be fair, like the sporting directors, like they've not been amazing, but they've certainly, done like some of the signings have been very good. There's no denying it. Palmer, Gusto, to name two. Nicholas Jackson's looking like a very good signing. They have made good signings. Yes, maybe they're going to make a few that are not going to be right. But they have made good signings. Sterling, it's not just the one on the free kick. He misses every one-on-one and he can't dribble and also doesn't make his poor. Yeah, no, I agree. Look, I don't think he's very good. That's my personal opinion on him. I don't rate him. I'm not a fan of his. I don't think he brings anywhere near enough to the team for a player of his experience and for the money he's on. And we'd be better served using other players. Sterling's not the future of Chelsea. Might be the present to a degree, but he absolutely is not the future. Need to move on from him. Maybe this summer there'll be approaches from Saudi Arabia and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I just look at it and I think like we're in a situation where we're creating an environment that players probably aren't going to want to. At some point, players will not want to play in. That for me is the problem in itself. But it is interesting, isn't it? Like the whole thing, because you get Pochettino coming out and backing him, Chukwuemeka's backed him. A lot of players have come out and backed Sterling, but it feels like a bit of a culture war. For me, it is ridiculous levels of backing for a player, in my opinion, who doesn't really have any interest or care for Chelsea. You can go back to the Mason Mount situation. Where was all this in regards to him? Where was it for Cucurella? Where was it for Lukaku? Where was it for Jorginho? Where was it for Morata? If we did this for all players that have been targeted in the past, then it wouldn't seem like it's being really forced. And I feel like at the moment, all this stuff coming out in defense of Sterling is looking like it's really forced because it's not been done for anyone else who has found themselves in a similar position playing for Chelsea in the past. So it does look forced, and it does look like, maybe we should do something, when actually they've not done anything to players in the past that have been in a similar situation. I do agree on that. Today, Sterling, he would reject Saudi. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Sterling doesn't want to go to Saudi. The players are not to blame for the current situation. Look, they are to a degree because they're the ones out there playing. But yeah, as always, it's a multifaceted, multi-layered issue. Yes, Jacob, big up my guy. Up the Chelsea as always. By the way, guys, if you're not subscribed to Jacob, make sure you do. Jacob2501, go and show him some love, guys. What else have we got going on? So yeah, look, I think for me it feels a bit weird because we haven't done this before with previous players in that have been in that situation. As I said, it feels a bit forced. The best thing for Sterling was to be taken out of the firing line. On the bench for a few games, yes, he is, mate. Yes, he is. It's one of those where he needs to be taken out for a few weeks. He needs to go and regroup. It's good that he's got a couple of weeks off now. Don't start him against Burnley. Don't start him against Sheffield United, and just ease him back in. From the bench, and then we go from there. But ultimately, for his own good, he needs to be taken out the firing line, because if he starts again the next game, which fans won't be happy about, and he does a few things wrong, that's then going to start the whole sequence, rightly or wrongly. That's going to start the whole sequence off again, which is exactly what we don't want. Which is exactly what we don't want to be doing. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Our signings were not as bad as people make. Sterling, Chilwell. I mean, look, Chilwell was signed a while back. That was under the previous ownership. Disasi, I don't think Disasi's been a bad signing. He's had on the whole, I think he's had a pretty good season. If Chelsea gets £20 million to sell, yes, I would. Problem is, Poch made his game even worse on Sunday. If he was subbed off at half time, yeah. But again, look, I think again that's the management side of things. A manager with a bit more personality, maybe a bit more of a backbone, etc., Sterling takes that penalty, misses it, could have been subbed off straight after it, or he certainly would have been subbed off at half time. I think you've got to set an example as a manager that you don't accept that sort of behaviour in the team. And if he's not done that, it doesn't strike me. Pochettino doesn't strike me as someone that would have dealt with that situation after the game at all. Feels like 100% starts against Burnley due to the fact that a lot of them are on international break. Yeah. No, I hear that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting after the break. He shouldn't be, but I absolutely get your point as to why you think he might be, because he's not been on international duty, so it would make sense, but he shouldn't be in that situation. He shouldn't be starting. But I've got a feeling he probably will. I would do it. You save up another 18 million from his wages per year. Yeah, it's a huge saving. Yes, big up for the Burnley game. I don't want to see Sterling start. No, I absolutely agree on that front. But I think the wider issue is the atmosphere that it creates, for players. Like, we want, obviously, whether you like Sterling or not, we want him to improve. And if he knows that if he makes a mistake or does a miss, he's going to be booed. Is that a conducive playing environment for a player to do well? No, it's not. It's the same with supporting the team and supporting individual players. Like, ultimately, it's easy to support. It's easy to support when things are going well, but when things are going badly, that's when you need the support more than ever. And too many Chelsea fans do not know how to support. They only support in the good times, and their first reaction to things not going well is to just chuck their toys out the pram and call for a manager to go, or to boo players, or whatever it is. And it's not a good situation. It's not conducive. It's to helping us. It's not. It's just not right on so many levels. And yet we find ourselves in a situation where it's a regular occurrence. And Sterling, it's been about 3 times I can remember this season, booed on against Brentford. He was booed off against Wolves. He was booed against against Leicester at the weekend. Look, I don't think Chelsea fans are great supporters in general. I mean, I'm not saying everyone. Of course, there's some great Chelsea fans, but I think a lot of fans don't understand what it means to support or how to support. You've got. I'm not saying just blind support if there's nothing there, if there's no tangible signs of progress. But ultimately, like, we all want the team to do well. Every Chelsea fan wants Chelsea to do well, and the way that they're gonna, I forgot about that, and there was that one as well. Yeah, no, I do remember that. And the way that they're gonna improve is by being supported. Like, you're not going to help a team improve or help the players improve by booing them. But then you also need to see something from them in a positive way. It's difficult to support Sterling though because of his attitude towards his fellow players. Yeah, no, I hear that. Look, I'm not saying by any means it's an easy thing to do or whatever, but it is. Look, I'll put it this: it's just not conducive to a good environment to perform in. Like, if let's think about it like that. If you were like booed in your workplace, are you gonna perform well in your workplace knowing that other people feel that way towards you? No, you're not. If you're supported and you're helped through difficult times, you're likely to perform a lot better. Let's see how he's treated come like the next time he plays. But I suspect there will be problems, like if he's in the starting lineup for the next game, and that's really not it's not a great position to be in at all. A lot of Chelsea fans have not felt what it's like to go through tough times. That again is another point. People a generation of fans have never experienced what it's like to see Chelsea lose on a regular basis and not be competing and winning trophies on a regular basis. That's absolutely fair and absolutely true. And people's default reaction is just to call for the manager to be sacked constantly. And we're going to have to get to a point where actually we do support a manager through a difficult time. Otherwise, we're not going to progress at all as a club or a team. If you guys don't like the video, then we won't beat City in the FA Cup at Wembley. No, absolutely. Most Chelsea fans under the age of 75 these days who only experience Roman booing a footballer, whether you like them or not, is unacceptable. Yeah, no, I totally hear, I totally hear that point of view for sure. Poch needs to do better in his in-game management. Agreed. I didn't and won't boo him, and I'm far from his biggest fan. I never wanted him or rated him. No, but I hear you. No, look, Mavadidi's having a good season at Leicester, but like, I mean, look, I don't think he's what Chelsea would be particularly looking for. So no, I wouldn't take him. But yeah, I think it's to sort of wrap this a little bit up. I think for Sterling, it's important. There's a 2-week break now. Get your head down, do some good training, work on your game. You're not playing well at the moment. It doesn't matter what people are saying. You're not playing well right now. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And also, we've got Amari Hutchinson, who's doing very well in the Championship as well, who is already on our books. So that there are a lot of options, but I absolutely agree. Like, if you're looking for a standout attacker in a Championship, it is very much Somerville at Leeds. 100% agree on that front. But I don't know what's going to happen with this Sterling situation. He's not going to be booed every game. We know that. But there's going to have to he's going to have to dramatically improve his performance levels. Otherwise, that is going to happen. The ball's almost in his court. You need to prove us as fans wrong. Prove that we were wrong about you and that you can perform to the level that you were brought in to perform at. And if you don't do that, then, you are going to continue to get a bad reception, whether that's fair or not. You've got to up your level of performance, because right now we're getting a level of performance from you that doesn't warrant you being in the team or even being at the club. That's kind of where we're at this point in time. Your level of performance, the level of performance from Raheem Sterling, is not, it's not conducive. He doesn't deserve that. I know that sounds mad, but he doesn't deserve to be in the team, and he doesn't deserve to be playing. That's the reality of the situation. No, but it's not just been one bad episode, though, has it? He's been shocking pretty much all season. Poch needs to yeah, I agree that he needs to be a bit more animated on the touchline. I think I absolutely do agree on that front. Would you prefer Jackson on the left? I'd rather play Jackson on the left. We don't need someone else. The booing is justified. Showing discontent via booze is fine. However, the idiots on... Yeah, no, look, making it personal is not acceptable. Never acceptable. Whilst I personally won't boo, it's if people want to express their view in that way, then that, I suppose, in a way is fair enough. My only concern is that Mamadidi would never sign for Chelsea. I don't know. I don't think we'd ever go for him anyway. What's most frustrating about Sterling is his body language and lack of leadership. Yeah, no, I think those 2 points are absolutely valid, and they're absolutely fair. There's no denying that. If we get a striker in the summer, would you play Jackson on the wing? Maybe in some games, yeah, possibly. I don't see why not. But it depends what the club's plans are. But the standard is the standard. That goes for Chilwell, Enzo, Jackson, or anyone else who plays. No, I agree. Like, if fans are gonna boo Sterling for shit performances, then if anyone else goes through a similar situation, then yes, they should be held to the same standard. Whether you agree that that's the right thing to do, they should be held to the same standard. I think that's absolutely fair. Continuously running into players is so annoying, and he seems not to learn from it. No, he's not. Sterling's not worth the money he's on. His performances have been dreadful. You know, it's not really worked out at all. That's the reality of the situation that we find ourselves in. Is that the Raheem Sterling signing is going to be one that you look at and you just think, like a lot of that business in the first summer of the new ownership, I think we'll look back on that and think, yeah, it was pretty shit. Aubameyang been and gone. Koulibaly been and gone. Cucurella jury's out, even though he's improved recently. Sterling dog shit. You know, it's poor. Really, really, really poor. So yeah, I mean, would I take Kim Min Jae at Chelsea? Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, as a centre back, I would, but it's not going to happen because he literally just joined Bayern Munich. So, but yeah, in a hypothetical situation, yes, I would take Kim Min Jae at Chelsea. Yep, of course. Lauren James is inevitable. What a player! Probably the best female player in the world at this point in time, I would say. But yeah, let's move away from this Sterling stuff. I think as fans, it's really important that we do our best to create an atmosphere and an environment that is conducive to players performing well in. Of course, voice frustrations where needed, but I think, you know, as fans, we could support the team in a lot better way. I 100% agree with that situation. Like, we've got to be better at supporting the team. We've got to be better at backing players. That's the reality of the situation that we're in, guys. You know, I can't remember how much they signed him for, but like he's worth at least 50 for sure. The ones who tend to boo a footballer tend to be the same ones who also make it personal online. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like crossing the line from into personal stuff is absolutely unacceptable in every way, possible. Every way possible, that's unacceptable. I agree on that front. I would sign, yeah, but like that's just not realistic or feasible. Guys, keep running the likes up, by the way. 60 of you in the building, only 41 likes. Let's get these likes up as quickly as possible to that 50 mark. And please do subscribe as well if you are new round here. 5 subscribers away from 8,170. So let's try and get to that little mini milestone. If you're locked in now, you're not subscribed, then what are you playing at? Please hit that subscribe button, guys. And please keep running the likes up. Let's get to 50 as quickly as possible. We're on 41 likes, 9 more likes required. So yeah, run it up, guys. Run it up. It helps more than you could imagine. Would I take Kimmich this summer? Yeah, I probably would. You know, he's not as good as he has been. But I don't know. Yeah, I probably would take him. Yes, big up, Billy. Hope you're doing well, bro. In my opinion, Lukaku was a worse sign than Sterling. Yeah, in terms of the money and how it went to shit so quickly, yes, I would agree on that front. But let's move away from the Raheem Sterling stuff and let's move on to the future of Amari Hutchinson. Having a brilliant season on loan in the Championship at Ipswich, who are 3rd in the league at the moment, or 2nd, I think, maybe. I think he's got 13 GNA in the Championship, which is a very respectable output. Amari Hutchinson has some big decisions to make this summer. Hutchinson has just over 1 year left on his contract at Chelsea, with several teams monitoring his situation with a view to a transfer or a possible loan for next season. He's doing really well. Like with all these players, though, they're only going to want to stay if they can see that there's a clear pathway. Is there going to be a clear pathway at Chelsea? Like, it's all very well having these youngsters, but if you're going to get them to stay at Chelsea, you've got to demonstrate there's a clear pathway for them into the first team. And I don't know if there is a clear pathway for Amari Hutchinson into the first team. Whether you agree or disagree with that, I don't see where that pathway necessarily is. I mean, there's more from this article from Simon Johnson on Hutchinson in The Athletic. Amari Hutchinson's primary ambition is to stay and win trophies at Chelsea. And without being arrogant, he feels he is good enough to do so. I think so. In the second half of last season, him and Joao Felix would often leave players chasing shadows in small-sided training drills. Like, he's absolutely got the ability. And look, is he ready to come in after one season on loan in the Championship to make an impact in the Chelsea squad? I don't think so. I think for me, an ideal situation would be Ipswich get promoted and then Hutchinson stays on loan at Ipswich for another season in the Premier League. It's an environment that he already knows, and it would then further help develop his game. I think that would absolutely be the ideal. Whether that happens or not is a different conversation. But I think ultimately the reality with this is, like, we have to demonstrate to these young players, whether it's an Andre Santos, a Cassidy, a Hutchinson, an Angelo, or whatever it might be, that if these guys are going to stick around, then we have to demonstrate that there are going to be opportunities available for these young players to play in the first team, and there is going to be a pathway for them to succeed. Like, it needs to be clear that is there, and I don't really know how clear that is, that it's there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because we've always had we have had a problem a lot in the past trying to demonstrate, is there a clear pathway? Like, I think Amari Hutchinson's a good player. He's obviously already made his Chelsea debut. He's made a few appearances for the first team. He's showing, good levels in the Championship for Ipswich. But then you look at the situation he's in and you think, right, okay, he's got the likes of Mudryk, Nkunku, Palmer, Madueke, Sterling, Jackson. That's 5 or 6 names straight away that he's competing with. Would he be getting in the team or getting minutes ahead of any of those guys? No, probably not. He's been playing number 10 in the last few games for Ipswich. Is he going to get in ahead of Chukwuemeka and Nkunku and Gallagher, etc., in that sort of position? No, he's probably not. So how are we going to demonstrate? I think he's a good player, and I think he can be good enough to play for Chelsea. But how are Chelsea as a club going to demonstrate to Hutchinson that, look, yes, there is a clear pathway to the first team for you, and that is not just going to become another talented youngster that gets lost in the loan system for a few years and then ends up being sold on. Like, we need to move away from that. We absolutely do need to move away from that. How are we going to move away from that? I'm not too sure. Look, he absolutely. I don't think he's ready to compete in the Chelsea squad next season, but he needs a Premier League loan next season. A Premier League loan, or I mean, look, I don't know if he's too good for Strasbourg, but I think having done really well in the Championship, I think it's fair to say that he's now ready to. In my opinion, he's absolutely ready to go and play in the Premier League. No debate about it. He's ready for the Premier League, so he needs to go and have a Premier League loan next season. Not much, brother. Just talking about Hutchinson, a bit about the Sterling situation. Sterling it would be great if Sterling goes, but I mean, you're not going to find any takers for him on the money that he's on. That's the reality of the situation. Big up. Yes, big up, brother. Big up. I agree with that. We need some experience in this team. Someone like a Kimmich would be great if Egbali and directors can just shit this U system obsession and get experience in defense midfield and striker. Yeah, look, I think, as I said many times, this summer is going to really tell us a lot about the direction we're in. You know, the direction we're going to be heading in as a club. I follow a few sports and Chelsea fans as toxic as the NYC fan base. Chelsea top 5. Oh, well, but yeah, it's obviously I don't closely follow a lot of the other fan bases, but yeah, it absolutely isn't ideal. That is for sure. Yes, big up, big up. Been a minute since I've been else. No, I appreciate you tuning in, bro. Appreciate it. Hope Mason Mount drops a stinker. Well, I don't know how much he'll play, really. He's literally just come back. He probably will feature a little bit. He won't get a good reception. Sterling should be sold ASAP. Well, where if we can. Chelsea is up there. I love. Yeah, mate. We all love the club. We all love the club. That is one thing that all fans can agree on. Is absolutely the love of the club. Yeah, I hope we get to the let's see. I mean, if we can both get to the final. I mean, I think you boys have got a better chance of getting to the final than us. But yeah, if we meet in the final, then I would absolutely fancy our chances, and hands down, no doubt about it. Would absolutely fancy the chances. Next season we have to get back to Champions League. Yeah, we need to. But yeah, just in regards to Hutchinson, I think like a loan next season for sure. I think he'll have a year left on his contract in the summer. Needs to be offered a new deal, sent on a Premier League loan, and see how he does, and then we obviously reassess in the following summer. That's got to be what we're looking to do. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult to demonstrate a clear pathway for these youngsters, and it's not just going to be a problem with Amari Hutchinson. It's going to be a problem with a number of these players. We've got a lot of young players, a lot of up and coming talent. It's not just the youngsters we've signed; it's also the guys in the academy. Can we show that these people? Can we show that there is a pathway to the first team, or is the academy now just going to become purely a way of just generating income rather than it being twofold of serving the first team and generating income? These are all questions that we need the answers to, and we're not necessarily going to get the answers to them. Yeah, we absolutely did. I have no idea, but I can't imagine the financial implications would be great. But I'm not an accountant or anything like that. But I can't imagine that it would be positive in any way. Yeah, potentially. Although I think it could end up being someone like Victor Gyökeres. I wouldn't rule that one out. But yeah, I'll be real. I don't think it's going to be Osimhen or Tony. I think it'll be someone. It'll be someone else. Whether it's a Gyökeres, whether it's a Sesko or whatever. Yep, we did, and we made the semi-finals. Yep. But yeah, the Hutchinson thing's interesting. He's done a really good season on loan. But as I said, is for these young talented players, is there a pathway to the first team? Chelsea have found it very difficult in the past to show that there is a clear pathway to the first team, and that's gonna a lot of these talented youngsters are gonna have a decision to make. That is there a pathway for me to break into this first team? Can I go and break into the first team or not? That is the question, and I don't have the answer to that. Because they're playing so well, I'm wondering where you think Reece James fits into this team when he is finally healthy. Well, if he's fully fit, he plays. But I think what it does do is it gives Chelsea the option that we don't need to play Reece every week, and we can play him in different positions if necessary. So look, you want strength and depth in a squad and good competition for places, and that's exactly what we'll get. Yep, fair play, fair play. We need to bring good, experienced players in the summer. What we need is leadership. Leadership is what we need. I'm going to move on to this in a sec. Yes, guys, keep running the likes up. Still 60 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. We are 7 likes away from 60. So let's run it up to 60 likes if we can, guys. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's do that. And yeah, let's move away from the Hutchinson stuff. But again, another exciting youngster needs to sign a new deal this summer, and then Premier League loan, and then we need to find a way of proving that there is a pathway to the first team for him. That is what we need to do. But let's move away from this Hutchinson stuff, and let's go on to this news and an article that's just dropped from the Daily Mail's Sammy Mockbell. Let's have a look. Chelsea are amongst the clubs monitoring Nottingham Forest centre-back Murillo. Let's give this a read. Nottingham Forest face a battle to keep key centre-back Murillo as the club face a summer of major uncertainty. Murillo, 21, has earned rave reviews since his arrival from Corinthians last summer and is attracting significant domestic and overseas interest, with Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle among Premier League sides monitoring the defender's progress. Murillo was signed for around 15 mil, but Forest can expect to recoup a significant profit if they were to sell the centre-half. Forest are at risk of breaching financial rules again next season if they don't sell one of their top stars in the summer. In addition to Murillo, Morgan Gibbs-White and Taiwo Awoniyi are among the players likely to attract interest from rival clubs. So yeah, Chelsea obviously interested, amongst the clubs monitoring 21-year-old Brazilian centre-back Murillo. Look, we're in the market for a centre-back. He would tick the box in terms of experience in the league. He ticks the box in terms of the age range that Chelsea are obviously looking to recruit in. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Yes, big up, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Barcelona are doing all right now. Champions League quarter-final. Back up to second in the league. But appreciate the kind words, bro. Appreciate that. James and Gusto can play together on the right, overlapping each other in attack. Maybe. Fabregas, when was young at Arsenal, yeah, he was 16. I think he was captain. Well, maybe he was captain at 18. I can't remember. What do you think of Forest getting 4-point stocks? Well, it's obviously right, but I don't understand why it's less than what Everton were docked when they've breached by a significantly bigger financial margin. No, Forest will have to sell. And look, there'll be a selling club in general anyway, but they will need to sell, particularly with the financial situation that they're finding themselves in. Given what's happened at Forest, no, look, Chelsea's situation is not serious. We haven't been charged with anything. I haven't been charged with anything whatsoever. I don't think it's serious. Like I trust the ownership in regards to this, but we are going to need to get some form of European football, and that extra income will obviously go some way to helping us, because we do need that. Yeah, I probably would, to be fair. Probably would. 2-0 Chelsea women. Yes. Guys, keep running the likes up, by the way. 58 likes. Let's get this to 60 likes. Let's try and push to 70 likes on this stream if we can, guys. That would be greatly appreciated if we can push up to the 70 likes. Let's see if we can do that, guys. That would be really appreciated. So let's do that, people. Keep smashing the like button and keep subscribing to the channel if you are new round here as well. Every new subscriber helps. We're racing towards 9K. Another 3 subscribers, guys, required to hit 8,170. So please do subscribe if you're locked in now and you're new round here. That would be greatly appreciated, people. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, look, obviously centre back Murillo. I don't know an awful lot about him. Obviously, a talented player with sort of the teams that are interested in him. Do we need a right-footed centre back? I don't know on that front, but yeah, it's obviously one to monitor and one to look at absolutely as we of course move towards the summer. But yeah, let's move away from that. Let's just talking of the summer. Let's talk about the Olympics and the effects that could potentially have on Chelsea. Obviously, it's an under-23s tournament. We've got a lot of under-23s players. And Chelsea face a headache leading up to the start of next season with a significant number of players in line to be called up for the Olympics. It's an under-23s tournament, and they could be hit hard because of the high number of youngsters they have. Gusto's in line to be selected by host France, who will be managed by Henry, and have vowed to pick their strongest available squad. Badiashile, Ugachukwu, Fofana, Enzo Fernandez, and Mudryk are also eligible. The fact that it's not a FIFA tournament means that clubs can, of course, veto. They can stop players from going to the Olympics, because it's not a FIFA tournament. But it is going to cause a few problems. Let's see what it's saying. It's from the 24th of July. It's 24th of July to the 10th of August. Finishes the week before the Premier League campaign gets underway. So yeah, there's a lot of players. Gusto, as I said, Badiashile, Ugachukwu, Fofana, Enzo, and Mudryk. Are there. Gusto's been So clubs can veto call-ups, as I was saying, as the tournament is not recognised by FIFA, but could be left in a difficult position if players express a desire to play. Argentina said the door is open for Lionel Messi to be one of their senior players, which would make playing in Paris a more attractive proposition for Fernandez. Chelsea heading to America for a pre-season tour at the end of July, and the Olympics will clash with their trip to the States. Losing players so close to the season would not be ideal, while there is also a risk of injury and prospect of players needing time off afterwards and missing the start of the season. Chelsea are not the only Premier League club in London who could be effective. Arsenal centre-back William Saliba is also eligible for France. It's going to be interesting because, of course, we are going to have a lot of players that are eligible and maybe a lot of players that quite possibly will want to play in the Olympics. And that does cause issues for the start of next season with players needing a bit of an extended break and all that jazz. It could well prove to be problematic. It can prove to be problematic. It's just maybe another complication that we just don't need. But it can't be helped. It can't be helped. Big up. Yes, appreciate this, the kind words. You probably don't remember I was dead against Sterling signing for us, and here we are. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people weren't really in favour of it. That much is absolutely fair and absolutely clear. A lot of people not in favour of the Sterling signing. So yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? But yeah, I would suspect that a high number of these players will be asked to be involved, and I think a lot of them will want to be involved, particularly the French ones because it's a home Olympics. The other ones maybe not as much, but yeah, it's quite a large French contingent at Chelsea now. So yeah, this could absolutely prove to be problematic for us, guys. There's no denying that it could absolutely be problematic, and yeah, not a good. Well, it is under 23. There's a few overage players, but it is predominantly under 23s tournament, and I think you can have 2 or 3 overaged players. But yeah, it's going to cause us problems for sure. We are going to be in a situation where we're going to have players coming back late for the start of the season. And it's, it is what it is. It's just unfortunate. But I don't think it'll cause a massive problem. I don't. Um, but yeah, look, it's obviously a good opportunity for these players and something that they may well want to do. But as I said, it's just like it's not an ideal preparation for the beginning of the season. You want as many players together as you possibly can. It'll be a very disrupted preseason in terms of who's there and who isn't. Um, so yeah, it's a frustrating one, but it's one that we can't do anything about, and that's the that's kind of the long and the short of it, and the reality. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Really kind of unsure on that one. Let's try and get this to 70 likes if we can. We're on 61 at the moment. Let's try and push this to 70 likes if we can. Um, let's hope that's the possibility. That's definitely doable. So let's make sure we run it up. I remember Neymar competing in that. Yeah, no, a lot of players have played in the Olympics. Never right to boo a player for trying. His stats are still top 5 for the Chelsea squad this season. Uh, no, yeah, look, I agree. I absolutely agree. It is, of course, counterproductive. There's no denying that. No denying that whatsoever. Absolutely no denying that. But that is where we are at this point in time. So yeah, that's kind of the reality of said situation. I don't know why the likes have suddenly dropped down from 61 down to 42. Maybe YouTube's playing up a little bit, unless there's been a mass unliking. But yeah, guys, run the likes up. That is really, really appreciated. So please do that. Yeah, look, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I absolutely don't think it's a bad thing. Like that we've got players that would want to be involved. It's just, it's disruptive to the Premier League season. It's 100% disruptive to the season. But we'll have to deal with that situation as and when we get there. It is difficult. It absolutely is difficult. I don't know what we'll do about it. But yeah, as I said, we deal with it. We deal with it when we get there. That's the reality. Yeah, fair. I think it probably has a little bit. Yeah, because it suddenly just drops from over 60 down to just over 40. So hopefully that will sort itself out. Anyone got any questions in the chat, guys? Let me know. Anything you got lot want anything you lot want to ask, anything you lot want covering. Let me just have a look what else is going on at the moment. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Let's see what else is going on. Is there any other news? Don't think there is an awful lot of other news at this point in time. Hopefully it's not too quiet over the international break. Yes, big up, Richard. Really enjoy your take, Joe, mate. So the likes, I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it a lot. Jimenez, Osimhen, or Sesko. If it was a choice of those three, which it is obviously, I would take Osimhen. But yeah, Osimhen is not really. I don't think he's what we need. Not because of us in terms of not because he's a centre forward, but yeah, I just don't think he's. I don't know. I don't think he's what we need. That's my honest opinion on the situation. I don't think he's the guy we need. But yeah, out of those three, I would obviously take Osimhen, but I think we're far likely to end up with Sesko or Gyökeres, as I've been saying earlier in the stream. I think that's what we're likely to end up with. But of course, we'll have to wait until the summer to find out on that one. But yeah, it's gonna be it's um it's gonna be interesting. It is gonna be an interesting summer, interesting, what we're gonna end up doing. So yeah, I'm quietly looking forward to it. Um, quietly looking forward to it. But yeah, no, the club, Chelsea don't control YouTube. But yeah, I do wonder why that suddenly just gone down a load. It's an yeah, interesting one that. But guys, try to at least get this up to 50 likes, 4 more likes. I'm not sure why the likes all disappeared, but let's get it back up to 50. Please do keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. I am probably going to round this one out here unless anyone else has got any further questions about anything, then do of course let me know in the chat. Yeah, all good fun, all good fun. What else? Yeah, anyone else got anything to say, let me know. If not, guys, thank you all very much for tuning in. Make sure you're smashing that like button on the way out. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Run those likes up on the way out. I'll be back with some form of content probably tomorrow, whether it's live or whether it's a video about anything that's going on. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, as I said, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'll catch you again in another video soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.